Hello.
Hello, miss.
Hey, I heard you fell out in the back when they were taking you to custody,
Yes,
throwing yourself on
ma'am.
the floor. Well, here's the thing. Throwing yourself on the floor crying because you've been taken into custody, you know what that results
That
in?
makes me look like a little girl.
No, I mean, excuse me. Do not say bad things about little girls. That's saying something bad things about little girls because little girls don't do that. But you know what ends up happening when you go in the back and you throw yourself on the floor? You just on a dirty floor.
That's true.
And then you know what ends up happening? The deputy calls somebody, and this deputy and the other deputy, they just will drag you out. Now, why were you late for court this morning?
I'm actually on some medication right now that's supposed to help me for my anxiety and depression and other stuff. And I actually had my alarm set for 6:30 a.m. this morning, so I can go ahead and shave this little bit off, take my shower, get some breakfast, and actually be here an hour early.
All right, so let me give you a hint. This is what you have to do, and this is what I do. If you know,
I have two phones with the alarm.
here's the thing. They didn't work for you
They
today.
didn't miss, and I woke up this morning mad.
So this is what you need to do. You need to set your alarm and set it in increments, because this is what I've discovered from some people. Some people, the alarm goes off, then they hit the snooze and they continue to hit the snooze. I'm recalling this case for tomorrow, and guess what? You better be on time.
I got it for 6:30, 6:32, 6:34, 6:36.
Oh, here's the thing.
That's how I have my alarm.
This is the thing. I'm not in charge of your alarm clock, but I'm going to recall the warrant, and you had better be in here tomorrow on time at 9 a.m.
I'm gonna be an hour early, man.
Oh, well, if you're here an hour early, which means you'll be here at 8, just sit on the bench.
I'll sit on the bench.
And you know what? If you're sitting on that bench, when these doors open, you better be in here.
I'm gonna greet you in the morning, miss.
Well, I mean, don't greet me. The deputies will get concerned about that, but all right. Norma, if you can give him a reset form for tomorrow at 9 a.m. All right.
Thank you,
You
miss.
take off your custody.
Dua, how do you pronounce your first name?
Virgilio, it's Virgil.
I did it. I did it correctly. I'm so proud of myself. Sometimes you have to celebrate your own victories.
I appreciate you.
All right. So, oh, thank you. All right. Your attorney has been appointed to represent you today because your previous attorney has not made an appearance. Do you have any objection to this attorney? Right. And have you had contact with your previous attorney?
Secretary reached out to me about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and didn't really say much. Didn't really give me too much information. He did get with me, and they never did.
All right. And Mr. Porter, are you waiving your time notice? All right, Mr. Belsadou, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those with your attorney? Did you understand them?
I didn't.
All right. Are you the same Virgilio Belsadou Jr., who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 2564 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on March 27, 2023 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 1 on or about the 22nd day of December 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Virgilio Belsadou Jr., committed the offense of theft in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say true?
Yes, he said true.
Can't hear. One other one, Judge. Violated condition number 1 on or about the 7th day of January 2024 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Virgilio Belsadou Jr., committed the offense of theft in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violations.
Any objections?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of conditions 1 and 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to a $10,000 fine and up to 2 years in the state jail facility? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 1 and 1? Court will find violation of conditions 1 and 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there is not.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
State, lieu of and plead, to each of the number ones, the state will take into consideration each of those cases, Your Honor. One is 724-046, and the other one's 725-120, which are the thefts. and the state is recommending revocation.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking continuation on for adjudication. If I may swear him in.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
You can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
State your name for the record.
Virgil Basaldua.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Balsadua. We're here before the court on this motion to revoke. And you're asking this court to continue on your probation. Is that correct?
Please, yes.
What is it? Why should the court continue on your deferred?
I first of all, I think that I was fairly doing good on my probation until I lost my job.
Let me stop you there. What do you mean by you're fairly doing good on your?
I was reporting up to the time I lost my job.
So how many times did you miss or let me rephrase that. Were you reporting monthly?
Yes.
And what did you first miss of monthly report?
I can't recall exactly what day, but I believe it was I failed to report twice.
And why is it that you failed to report?
The first time I was just had to work. I called and left a message to my probation officer, and the second time I was supposed to report, I got arrested 2 days prior to that.
Okay. So having said that, you also mentioned a minute ago that you were doing well on probation.
Well, yes, I thought as far as reporting, yes, sir.
And were you doing anything else for your probation?
I had a parenting class scheduled. Well, I'm waiting on the call back from the Fitch location, and they were going to set me up for a date for my parenting class. And my TAP evaluation was complete as far as I was informed.
And if you were to continue on the probation, would you be able to do all the terms and conditions this court lays out for you today?
Yes, sir, I would.
Oh, that's what it's true.
No question.
All right, what have you done on probation?
Just to tap and have my parenting class scheduled, or I was waiting for the call back for them to give me the date that I was supposed to be scheduled.
All right, so it appears that the only thing that you've done while you've been on probation is pick up 2 new cases.
Yes, ma'am. After I lost my job, yes. Yeah, after I lost my job, I was kind of a little downhill from there. But
Probation, what's your recommendation?
Your Honor, the recommendation of this court summary is for state ISM positive track. And I would also recommend to use it. We don't have to have on file that was not excluded. We don't have any ways to file.
I don't think you're a good candidate for probation.
I think my job interfered with it a lot. I'm no longer working at that job anymore. I was hoping, my uncle was hoping to get me back into my old job at Ford Air.
No, there's no excuse for this.
Right.
Basically, you've done nothing. And you've been on probation since March 27, 2023. And I know, and you know, that everybody who comes before me who are placed on probation, I always say, is there anything else you need? Usually people will say no. I've had maybe 2% of people say, yes, I need A, B, and C. And if it's within my power to give it, I'll give it. Some people say, well, I really need help with anger management. And then you know what I always tell them? If there's ever an issue with your probation officer where you feel like they're not addressing you, you can always come back to this court because I'm here, except on weekends, and say, these are my issues. Like if there was an issue with your job, all you had to do was come to the 187th and say, Judge, there's an issue with my job. I have to report at probation at this time, but I can't get off from my job. And we could have worked through that. But instead, what you did was, and I'm not taking in consideration, according to this, you hadn't been submitting UAs either, right?
Right.
And usually when people are on probation for a possession case and they're not submitting to UAs, that tells me they're using. Usually, right? So I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation. You haven't done anything. And you've had chance to do things.
I think given the second chance, I'll make it right. I'll make you proud, make my family proud.
All right, I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to grant the motion. Does anybody wish to speak to time? State?
Stable.
Defense.
I do believe, Judge, that he was sincere about wanting to do rights. We would ask for the minimum.
All right. I'll sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. And if you do have a drug issue, which it appears that you may have one, I can ask them to place you in the therapeutic community. I'm not in charge of whether they place you in the therapeutic community or not. It will be completely up to them, but you'll have to ask for it. So it doesn't increase the amount of time that you're in custody. So would you like to be considered for that program? All right, so I'll add the therapeutic community. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, we can go off the record. I understand that doing any type of time is hard time, but there has to be consequences for actions. You still have time to better your life, get off drugs, and get your life in order. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Defendant,
Okay.